Okay, day 3, the morning. Get in there. Dawn's been up for a little bit. Oh yeah, you can tell your muscles all nice and warmed up and ready for this too. And just kind of let them flop around. Let them flop around. Don't worry about trying to hold anything. Let things relax.
It's encouraging.
Yeah, even the traps feel a lot looser already right off the bat. It's not like I'm grabbing steel right off the bat.
I even tried to repeat the motion of my butterfly stroke,
Right.
and I felt a little more open and comfortable with that. And my hip didn't give me as much pain this morning.
Good. Confidence. That's good. Gaining some confidence. This is working out exactly like we hoped it would. And we will continue to do it. Today we're going to be skipping our morning walk and swim. Maybe we'll get to the swim later. We'll see what happens what time we get back.
The pain of my arm and how it caused my body to be. With that pain, I wasn't drinking my green smoothie with all my vitamins and everything in it. I let it sit in the refrigerator. Today, finally, I poured it out and I made new green smoothie.
Yeah.
Not quite as strong, but full of a lot of vitamins. And, I'm feeling more encouraged about life.
Good.
And taking and self-care, upping the ante. So.
And that is a piece of the practice of doing this stuff too, because you are part of, those little things that come in play that try to convince you to do otherwise, to be otherwise. Dimla likes to call them the vrittis.
Mm-hmm.
Indian way of saying it, but it's the challenges that always gets thrown at us. I mean, look at that. It was not letting you feel the enjoyment of life anymore. You were sinking into the loss of enjoyment in life.
Oh, most definitely. Now I'm looking more to the true life, to the light, and trying to see what else I can do to improve.
Exactly.
And do better. More hydration.
Very important stuff, working on your hydration and working on ways to improve your joy while you're down here doing your thing on this planet, this plane of existence. And I'm doing just a little extra warming up, stretching and lengthening the muscles just a little bit. Very focused on where I'm aiming. Stretch those lats out a little bit before I jump in there too much. Yeah, even right in there in the anterior of the neck, it feels really nice. Really nice. On the clavicle, it feels good. Now coming right up underneath the traps, just checking around, and everything in there feels so much softer, not as tense. And it's not like you're binding up each time, like, oh, ow, ooh, ow, or anything. And I'm really not doing any different depth in pressure, really. It's all about the same. Supraspinatus. I can actually kind of feel down.
I appreciate the commentary. It's helpful.
Sure. Yeah, even the supraspinatus. Now I'm pressing a little more on the traps, because right up close to the neck here, that's where we got to get them brought in a little bit. Just relax. Just let me do the work. Let me warm them up and soften them a little bit. There we go. There goes the supraspinatus. Just dropping down. You can feel it through, for those that understand that traps are all the way up here, big muscle group out here, and underneath is a ton of other muscles, and that's the ones I'm aiming for. I got to get that top set to relax enough so I can get through and work in there. Actually feel what's going on deeper. You'd be surprised at how gelled up the muscles can get.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah.
It's so intricate otherwise, but that's the basic thing, isn't it? It's just jammed up.
Yeah, exactly. Got to separate them. Get them relaxed. It's a huge portion of the goal. I mean, if you're trying to create circulation throughout the whole of the body, you got to get the muscles to separate. You got to get everything to allow slippage and movement inside of there so you can lubricate everything. Lubricate the bones, lubricate through all of the surfaces in between, lubricate the muscles in between the muscles. They have the fascia wrapping around them, and they ought to be lubrication in there too, so that they can do a good job of both cooling, heating, as well as identifying and cleaning up any junk that's caught inside of the joints. That's where the lymphatic system comes in. And if
well, it makes sense. And an ordinary massage would just be ineffective at best.
for this, you know, you would end up with a lot of just real good feeling, but it wouldn't last long, unfortunately. Pain would come back very quickly, and there wouldn't be any long-term open range of motion gain without the extra work. Without having to do your part too. That's another big part of doing these exercises. You have that arm there. Yeah.
Well, I think client-patient has to put up with some trauma as you're loosening up the jammed everything.
Yeah, there is definitely a decent amount of that will happen when you're doing it at this speed and you're doing this type of work. A certain amount of trauma, because it's just like building muscles, whether you're doing anything, push-ups, sit-ups, heavy weightlifting, you have to tear the muscles to make them bigger. Well, in this case, we need to tear them apart, separate them from each other. And sometimes we do it lightly, and sometimes we do it with a lot of extra vigor in there. You have very deep damage that is being brought out from this. Old damage. Mobilizing the joint a little bit, opening it up, get underneath the subscaps, mobilize in there. Let that shoulder fall. Got to remember, your clients almost always, including yourself, when you're having it done, is going to end up with your shoulders up. It's just the way it is. You naturally want to help. You got to remember to have them drop the shoulder back down. There. Now purposely have the arms be set a little higher so that your shoulders are kind of lifted the whole time. And usually we like to have everything stretched, but I'm going to stretch them individually. So this is where we're getting mobilization in there right off the bat. So much more mobile than it has been. So much more mobile. The rhomboids let me go right in. The trap moved right out of the way.
Well, that's confirming progress that the healing is working. I'm delighted.
Yeah, me too. Me too. This is what we want.
I wouldn't have believed it, to be honest.
Pretty interesting stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Till you go through it, it makes it somewhat difficult. There is definitely some clunking right inside of there. Feels like the ligament structure that holds the head of the humerus in place.
I think probably getting that initial beginning opening just to get some of the flow started is really, really important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Warm it up and bring some awareness. Go ahead and release that side. There we go. You didn't realize you were holding, did you? And a lot of that comes down to our breath work. We need to remember to remind our clients, and myself included, that you need to breathe in and out through your nose and be very conscious of where I'm at and releasing those areas. Otherwise, just chill in those zones. It's so different. As soon as he did that, right into those subscaps. Right into those subscaps. And I never took my fingers out of there. I just waited. Just gave it a moment. Ooh, right there on that teres minor, huh? Much better. Much better, Don. Much better. Check that mobilization up a little bit closer. There we go. Feeling a little nicer up there instead of painful, huh?
Oh.
Whole different feeling.
Oh.
Right out here, that's where we're at.
There's still serious work going on.
There is. There's still quite a bit.
Still,
Now you release down. And there we go. Much better. It's about getting these triceps out of there. And that separation in there. Ooh. Yeah. I know it sounded like a lot of pain, but I'm certain that's...
I heard a pop or something.
You did. It finally popped loose. Remember I was telling you earlier that there was a problem inside that capsular joint right there with all the ligaments around the head of the humerus. So let that pain go. Let it go. Let it go. There we go. And I'm actually deeper. I can actually feel far deeper inside, almost to the head of the humerus at the ligamentous juncture where that bundle's at.
So what happened there?
It was so tied up with all the muscles holding it in like this. We finally got enough of a release in the muscles that it popped it loose, and it allowed that free flow movement that we've been needing inside that ligamentous juncture, so that everything could flow out and get picked up by the lymphatic system. Now, instead of this big clog right up inside of there, it's opened up just enough that it's allowing flow through there. Again, the ligaments are feeling better.
And it wasn't without some accompanying pain, in that snap.
True.
But what area is that, do you call that, where that's taking place?
That was happening in the in the junction between the humeral joint right here and the acromioclavicular. So it's actually where it goes into the socket.
Oh, that's critical right there.
Yeah, that's why we came in for this, is just to give that distraction in there. We were just getting ready to do it, and look at that. I tried this the other day, and you were having issues with it. Now I can just flop you into it, no problem at all.
That's a major source of the
look at this.
That's a major source of the problem.
Yeah.
Look at that. My God.
Massive change just in
I can't believe it. I'm witnessing this.
Actually, I think the other side might even be freer, even though this side isn't damaged.
That's kind of the same thing that happened, isn't it?
A little bit. This one was more of the triceps and biceps pulling off the side of the muscle out of the way of the bone, which is what we want to.
This one never got impacted or.
No, and I just wanted to make sure that it, that the joint felt the same thing, so they were equal.
It's just kind of mirroring the pain of the other, right? Just kind of like.
Mirroring the enjoyment. See, look at that. Scapula just plump, plump, plump. No problem at all. Yeah, it was mirroring it to some degree because it takes up some of the strain from the other side. We don't want it to, create a problem. But at the same time, I like to make sure to mobilize our joints too. Let's drop this sucker down a little bit. A lot. Changes that. Big changes there. I am super happy with what we get for progress here.
Right there where your thumb is on the right, on the other side.
It's going to be some video of my butt.
Right on the bone when you just.
I know, it's that. And see, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a dry bone or a drying out of the bones. That feeling that you get out of that, you're like, if you really go into that spot, you can feel that, like, that's not really pain as so much as it's a dry spot. It doesn't feel like it has the fluid movement across there, and it does cause some degree of pain.
Yeah, that's tender there.
Right. And that's the inflammation from that. But that's even better than it was. Much better. I am super happy with what our progress is, though.
Hard to believe possible, to be honest, from my standpoint. I thought I was a goner.
Right. And we've talked about that too.
Oh yeah.
How bringing those thoughts in there, and sometimes it's just a matter of bringing that awareness of there's a direction, and you can get there. That helps bring that positivity back to you.
Yeah, but I can't think of any other doctor therapy treatment that would have done what you're doing in these already 3 days.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think there is anything I can think of. Not medicine or drugs or even yoga. No, it would take years to get that deep.
Yeah, to get this far in there, it would.
And
for
by
sure.
then it'd be frozen up.
For sure. For sure. Get Don trained up, he can work my shoulder out.
I'm willing.
That's the plan. Okay,
Willing
buddy.
to learn.
Go ahead and come on up out of there. Oh, well. Move this over here just for a second so we can address the camera.
Oh gosh. May I say I can't believe it, but 3 days with Tio, I'm really encouraged. I'm really feeling like there is true healing taking place by that.
Wow. How's that shoulder feeling now?
It's feeling better than it's felt in 6 months.
Wow, good deal. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. See, I have some tenderness up in here when I'm trying to do what would be butterfly, but it's far less. It's far
less.
freer.
Yeah, we're getting inside. They're separating the muscles and getting them to actually flow properly is what we're doing right now. We're getting things to flow, and then we're getting the openings that we need, all right?
I'm a believer.
All right.
Yes, thank you.